Hare Krishna. Question from Milan Prabhu. If scripture is compiled by sages, then how can we be sure that it does not have any defects? Answer. We have to understand what we mean by defects here. First of all, there is Shruti and there is Smriti. Shruti means that which is direct revelation coming from God, and Smriti is the explanation of that revelation based on the realization of that particular text, that particular scripture, the revelation. So actually we could call it the Smriti literally means, translated to English, means recollection, but the point is that it is Smriti which makes the import of Shruti accessible to us. If we just read Shruti, often it is difficult to understand it and more importantly understand its relevance to us. So we shouldn't see Smriti as different from the tradition, rather it's all one integral body of knowledge. Now the sages, especially when the scriptures are compiled, they are very advanced sages, and in general the more spiritually advanced we are, the more we get connected with Krishna. Dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. Adami buddhi yogam tam. That Krishna says that I give knowledge unto you by which you can come to me. So one way he gives knowledge is through as super soul in our heart, another is through our guides, to whom also he gives guidance by which they can go back to him and they can help us go back to him. So the point is, the more we are connected with Krishna, the more we get guidance from him. So the sages who have compiled scriptures are not ordinary people. They are very intimately connected with Krishna and are intimately guided by Krishna. Apart from that, we have to understand that scripture has a particular context, and Smriti will have a contextual side to it where things will be explained according to time, place, circumstance, and we don't have to get caught up too much in what is contextual or circumstantial in scripture. We focus primarily on that which is transformational, on that which is perennial and transformational. So for example, in the first canto of the Bhagavatam, 10th and 11th chapters, where Krishna is leaving from Astinapur and going to Dwarka from Indraprastha, and he's going to Dwarka. At that time, it is the path by which he is going is described. Now, a number of places are described, and while going along in that way, Prabhupada writes in one of the purports over there that as far as that geologists may try to trace the exact route taken by Krishna, and we leave that task to them. That is nearly an impossible task because the surface of the earth keeps changing. As far as we are concerned, we are satisfied that Krishna is now going to reach Dwarka and is going to perform pastimes with his devotees. So the point here is that we need to focus our study in scripture. The essential message of scripture is for our transformation. And now there are many details in scripture which may or whose precision we are not in a position to evaluate. So what we can evaluate is the process that is given in scripture. If we follow it, it transforms our heart. It purifies us of our arthas and it helps us increase our attraction to Krishna. So thereby giving us higher happiness. So the important point is that we keep our focus clear. We study scripture primarily for spiritual knowledge, which transforms us. Now, scripture may also have contextual knowledge, which is material. Now, the accuracy of that, the relevance of that, the way to understand that, all these are subject matters which are best left to specialists. So there may be devotee historians who may study the Bhagavatam from a historical perspective and then try to reconcile that with historical knowledge. There may be a devotee cosmologists who may study cosmology and try to reconcile the Bhagavatam's cosmology with modern cosmology. We have to understand that Bhagavatam as a book deals with a wide variety of subjects. And if we start going into all those subjects, we will get distracted. Vyavasayatmika buddhi ekeha kurunandana. We have to be one-pointed in our purpose of studying scripture. So, now there is some possibility that sometimes some interpolation may have happened. Madhvacharya talks about this in his Mahabharata Tatparnirnaya. He says that Mahabharata is been corrupted by interpolations. So that possibility is definitely there. But then there is an essential message which remains the same. And further, Jiva Goswami in his Sandarbhas, especially Tattva Sandarbha, he does a lot of elaborate technical analysis, and he explains that Srimad Bhagavatam is a Shruti. Although technically it forms the category of smriti, but it is a Chanya Shruti. It is like a hidden Shruti. It is also eternal, and it has been very carefully preserved. So the same thing that same Bhagavatam that Sridhar Swami commented on, that is the Bhagavatam that we have even now. And importantly, we have to study scripture from, as I said, from the transformational point of view. So Shruti has a essential message. So when we focus on that message, just like if say a doctor, a medical researcher, a doctor has produced a particular medicine which cures a person who has got a disease. Now if we are going to how do we know whether that medicine, when it is coming to us through our pharmaceutical retail store, is it the same medicine or is it a different medicine? It's very difficult for us to trace back the path taken by each medicine and find out whether it is accurate or not. What is the best thing to do is, we take the medicine and we check whether it produces the same effect as has been produced for the first patient. So the first patient was cured of the medicine, of the disease by the medicine, and I am also cured of the disease by the medicine. Then I can understand that this medicine works. Or if I don't want to take my medicine, I can look at others. They are taking the medicine, are they getting cured? If they are getting cured, that means the medicine is the same. So similarly, if you look at the Bhagavad Gita, what happens after Arjuna hears the Bhagavad Gita? You can say two broad things. First is, he is sadhan and his sadhya becomes clear. His sadhya he explains right in the immediately after hearing the Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita in 10.8 to 11. He says in 10.12 and 13 that Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram Paramam Bhavan. He says Param Brahma, Param Dhama. He says you are the supreme Brahma, you are the supreme shelter, you are the supreme pure. Basically he accepts Krishna as the absolute, the supreme person, the absolute truth. So his sadhya becomes clear, it is Krishna. And then at the end of the Bhagavad Gita, after Krishna finished speaking in 18.72, then Krishna tells Arjuna speaks in response in 18.73, Karishye vachinam tava, I will do your will. So here Krishna is stating that I will do your will. That means he is stating that actually I will practice bhakti, because doing Krishna's will is bhakti. So his sadhya is bhakti. So what we should see today is, when we receive scripture today in our tradition, is it providing the same result? Are people getting the same conviction about the sadhya and sadhana? Are their lives becoming transformed? If they are, that is what we should focus on. And this spiritual knowledge is what is the unique gift of scripture. And our acharyas have told us, like as Jiva Goswami has assured us, Bhagavad Prabhupada has assured us that the essential message of scripture is always available. Krishna arranges to make sure that it is available. And beyond that, specific technical details, we can leave it to specialists to analyze it and to understand it and then to explain it to us, wherever it is relevant for us. Thank you. Hare Krishna.